Alright, now for this lesson, I'm going to show you how to create an Andy Warhol inspired piece of pop art. In this case, I'm going to use a selfie or a self-portrait. However, you can use a selfie or a self-portrait, or else you can use a photograph of another person. Just note that you're going to have to take the photograph yourself. You will not be able to take this photograph from the internet. So on that note, any picture that you get of any person, including yourself, you will have to make sure that you get the model release form signed. That form should be located somewhere in the lesson. On the lesson page. If the model is 18 years old or over, or if you are 18 years old or over, then you're going to have to sign the model release form for models who are 18 years old and over. If the model is under 18 or up until 17, then you're going to have to get the model release form signed by both the model and the model's parent as well. And both of those forms will be located again on the lesson page. Now to start with, I'm going to go ahead and go to Google. So I'd like you to do this with me. Just go to Google and we're going to look for Andy Warhol. So Andy Warhol is spelled A-N-D-Y and Warhol is W-A-R, like war, H-O-L. So I'm going to click enter in here and then I'm going to go to Google Images. Now Andy Warhol, here's Google Images. Andy Warhol was a famous pop artist from the 1950s and 60s. You probably recognize some of his work. If you click on pop art or Marilyn Monroe, you'll see an example of some of his works. Andy Warhol was known for using repetition a lot in his artwork. He used repetition a lot because it was emulating mass production in a capitalistic society. So basically what he was trying to showcase, as you can actually see over here, with the soup cans, he was making comments about mass production in a capitalist society, about mass-produced products. He was not against it. It was just an interesting commentary. So as you can see, a lot of his artwork he created in the form of produce, like the Campbell's soup can is the most popular one. But he also did this with many other things as well. In fact, his first gallery was actually in Los Angeles, and his very first gallery, he made all these different works of art in the form of different types of produce. So Campbell's soup cans, bananas, all things like that. And he was basically showing that artists can sell their work just as business people, just as marketers can sell their work in the same kind of way. So on that note, the Marilyn Monroe picture that he did, it's the same kind of concept. He's basically showing how in our society people are products too. So Marilyn Monroe is obviously a person, a very famous actress, but in this context she becomes basically like a product. So they're selling Marilyn Monroe as a type of product basically. And you can see the mass-produced prints that he did here. So we're going to do something a little bit similar to this using a program called Pixlr. So what I'm going to have you do next is I'm going to have you go to Pixlr.com. This is Pixlr.com. Now, when you're going to Pixlr.com, just remember there's only one vowel. It's P-I-X-L-R. There's no E or A or anything. Pixlr.com, and you're going to go to this page right here. Now, some of you may be familiar with Pixlr, the app, which looks kind of like this, Express or Automatic. We're going to be using something called Pixlr Editor, which is on the left-hand side. This is only available in a browser. Now, Pixlr Editor is basically almost like a free version of Photoshop. It doesn't have quite as many features as Photoshop, but I'm very impressed this is available for free. And the best part is you don't have to download anything. You actually use the program inside of a browser. So once you go to Pixlr.com, scroll down until you see Pixlr Editor and click on Launch Web App, which is right over here. And that will take you to Pixlr Editor, which looks like this. All right. So now this box will pop up first. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to go ahead and have you open image from computer. So you can click on this right over here. If you forget to click on this and you actually exit in like this, then you can always go back to that by going File, Open Image. So either one, File, Open Image, or Open Image on the main box that was here. Once that happens, it's going to prompt you to open up a picture. Now, you're going to need to get your picture onto your desktop. So if you have your photograph, either you emailed it to yourself or you put it in the flash card, either way, you just need to get that picture into your computer. So in this case, I have a picture created already, which I'm going to go ahead and grab. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. All right, so here's my picture. So I open it up in Pixlr like this. And you can see I can move this around by clicking on this. This is my toolbar. So if you see the toolbar, this is the toolbar here. All my tools will be located in here. This is the main menu, which has all the different features that you'll need to work with your picture up here. And then the thing below that, this bar is called the options bar or the adjustments bar, depending on what you want to call it. And now these things, they can either be called panels or window panels. I call them panels. But you're going to see a navigator panel, a layers panel, and a history panel. The navigator panel, if you drag this little bar to left and right, you'll see you can zoom in and out of an image really quickly. There you go. The layers panel will contain your layers. These will be kind of, if you ever see your teacher use transparencies, I know those are kind of old nowadays, but basically they're like multiple different pictures on top of each other inside the same canvas. And this is our canvas right over here. And these, again, the layers will contain all the different pictures that are inside of that canvas. History is kind of like Command Z. It's like your backspace. You can always go up in history to undo things or to redo things if you have to. And that's pretty much how Pixlr works. It's pretty simple. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and use something called an adjustment, which is up here. Click on adjustment. And now each of these adjustments will let you change the color of a picture. So you can see if I go to adjustment hue saturation, for example, I can always change the hue, and you see my picture changes the color as well. If I increase the saturation, it'll become very bright, so we'll go the Hulk a little bit. The Hulk, there you go. You can see, and so forth. So these are what adjustments do. Go ahead and click cancel. You don't have to actually apply this. I'm just going to click cancel right here. But in short, this is what most of these items will do, is they'll just add different kinds of colorizing effects to your picture. So the one I'm going to look for will be adjustment threshold. So go to adjustment threshold, which is located just down here. Now I click on this, you notice my picture becomes pure black and pure white. So there's going to be a little bar in here. Go ahead and drag that around until you get the picture to look about how you want. I know it's a little hard to get it perfect, but you can get it to about where you want. Let me see. I think that's good enough for the most part. Now, if it's hard to work with, mine's a little hard to work with, which is actually good, so I can show you what to do if this happens for you. I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to go to adjustment, try levels first. So, actually, no, let's try contrast. I'm sorry. I'm going to do adjustment, brightness, contrast. I'm going to boost the contrast first. There you go. Adjustment, brightness, contrast. So I'm bringing the contrast up. Click OK. And now I'm going to try adjustment threshold. This might help it a little bit. Let me see. A little bit. There you go. Okay. Click OK. All right, so now I have this image, and it's pure black and pure white. Now note, you can always touch up the image if you want to by using your paintbrush tool. So anytime I say something that ends with the word tool, you know it's going to be in the tool bar over here. The paintbrush tool is over here on top of the little paint bucket. Now if I go to the options bar, the adjustments bar up here, I can change the size of the tool, which is going to be up here. So I can click on this, just click right there. And I can make a soft round tool or a hard round tool. A soft round will have a blurry edge, and a hard round tool will have a hard round edge, like this. And if I want to, I can change the color. So the color of the paintbrush will be down here. This is the color picker. So the little 6 buttons down here will show the most recent colors that you've used, and the one up here will show you the current color that's activated. I'm going to click on the black box up here, and now I can change a color. So for example, I'm going to get white by dragging up the lightness, or dragging up the top of the square here. Click on that. And now as you can see, if I want to get rid of this area here, I can paint white. I can paint black on some areas. This is optional. You may not have to do this. I'm just doing this to clean up my image a little bit. There we go. All right, I say that works pretty well. And again, does not have to be perfect for this process. There you go. Okay. Not bad. All right, there we go. So now that I have my image cleaned up, I'm going to, oh, actually, I don't know, you see the history panel is filled with history now, so if I wanted to undo something, just know if you go to the bottom right corner of any panel, click and drag down, bottom right corner, and now I can go up in history if I wanted to, see? So I can go backwards, or I can go forwards, back to where I was. There we go. All right, so now that this is done, I'm going to go ahead and copy this layer 3 times. So this is my layers panel. So you're gonna go to layers panel here again. Look for the window, not layer up here. This is the layer menu. You want layers panel, which is the window right here. Now, at the bottom right corner of the layers panel will have a little trash can. This deletes a layer, and the button next to it is called the new layer button. If you're not sure what certain icons do, just know you can roll over them like I'm doing here, and it'll tell you what it says. So if I roll over this, it says new layer. And now I know what that thing does. It makes a new layer. Now in this case, I'm just going to duplicate the current layer that's here. So the way you duplicate or copy a layer, the easiest way that I do it is by doing this. I click on the background layer, click and drag it. See how I can move it around? So I'm click and drag this background layer. I'm going to drag it on top of the new layer button. So I'm going to click it, drag it down right on top of here. Click, drag down, boop. And now you see it says background copy. So now I'm going to take this one, I'm going to copy it again. So click and drag, copy it again, and then do it again, copy it again. So now you see, if I scroll up and down inside this box, I now have 4 of these. If you're having trouble seeing them, again, if you go to the bottom right corner over here, you can drag this down, and now I have all 4 of these, okay? So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some space in this. I'm going to go ahead and we'll start with complementary colors. So I'm going to go to Image, Canvas Size. So again, that's Image, Canvas Size. I'm going to increase the size of my canvas so I can start duplicating these pictures. So if I click on Image Canvas Size, this thing pops up. Now just note, don't make this mistake. Don't go to Image Size, go to Image Canvas Size. I do have some kids who do that sometimes. So Image Canvas Size. Now, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna take the width that's inside of here, whatever number you have, and you're gonna double it, right? Now, some of you may have a very big picture. Just so you know, Pixlr can only handle an image that's about 3,000 to 4,000 pixels on either side. If your picture is very big, so let's say you're looking here, if it's over, if your picture is over 1,000 pixels wide, so if it's over 1,000 pixels wide, you are going to have to shrink your picture first. So let's pretend my picture is actually a good size, but let's pretend this picture is too big. Let's say it's about 1,000 pixels wide, and I can't have that to start with, because once I start multiplying that number, it's not going to work. It'll cut me off. So I'm going to click cancel. If your picture is too big, you're going to go to Image Size first. And sorry if that confused you, but this is only if your picture is too big. Image Size, and then you're going to shrink the width to about 1,000. So here's how you do it. You just highlight inside here and type in 1,000, like this. Constrain proportion should be on, and then click OK. That will shrink your picture first. So one more time, you only have to do this if your picture is 1,000 pixels wide or over. You want to make sure that it's a small enough size so that you can duplicate it without messing up Pixlr. So again, that's Image Size. Make sure the width in here is about 1,000 pixels or under. So you want it to be 1,000 pixels or under in width. Otherwise, it won't work. All right, so now that that's done, now I'm going to go back to Image Canvas Size, and now I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to multiply the width by 2. So right now my width is 353. Yours will be different, but I'm just going to take whatever number that is and multiply it by 3, or by 2. If you don't know how to do that, you can actually go to Google. So I can go to Google right now. So now I'm in Google. And I'm going to take my number. My width is 353. I'm going to times that by 2. If you type that in, Google will actually pull up a calculator. There's my calculator. So you can see I can take my numbers here. 353 times 2. So whatever width you have, it may not be 353, maybe something else is fine. Whatever width you have, multiply that by 2. Click enter, and then you're going to enter in this new number. So my new number is 706. I'm going to go back over here. Image Canvas Size 706. There we go. All right. And you see what happens is now my picture looks like this. It's wider. Now, if it gets cut off, let's say your picture looks like this and you can't tell. You're like, I don't think anything happened. What happened, right? Check your navigator panel. So your navigator panel is over here. Take this and drag to the left. If you drag to the left, you see now I can zoom out, right? So this is, it may have gotten bigger, but you may not have seen it. So to fix this, I'm going to click on the bottom right corner of my canvas down here, and I'm going to drag this out so I can see a little bit better. That way I can zoom in easier. There we go. So just to reiterate, meaning repeat what just happened, first I wanted to make sure my picture was a good enough size, because if the picture is over 1,000 pixels to start with, it won't work. So to check that, I went to image size, made sure that my width was no higher than 1,000. So I changed it to 1,000 if it was higher. Then what I did is I went to image canvas size, and then I doubled the width. So you leave the height alone, just multiply the width by 2 using Google, and then you enter in the new number there, and this creates this. So now that you're ready, we're going to get your move tool. Your move tool is located in the toolbar over here, which looks just like this. It looks like a cursor, basically. It's a top right tool. Now, I already have a layer selected. See these 4 layers? So I'm already on 1. So all I have to do is just click right over here on top of the face and drag it over. And now you see I can move over copy. So now I have 2, which is nice. Excellent. Perfect. Good. Okay, that's about right. Okay, so now I have these 2. Now what I'm going to do is on top of this layer over here, I'm going to make a brand new blank layer. So before we copied these layers, see how they all say background copy? But now what I want to do is I want to make a layer on top of all of this, so just a blank one. So to do that, first make sure you're at the very top layer. So if you're on like one of these, see I can click on different ones and select them. You want to be on the very top layer to do this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click on the new layer button next to the trash can, not the trash can, the button next to the trash can, right over here, new layer. Click on that once, click, and now it's going to say likely layer 4 something else. If it says something different, that's fine, as long as you see a blank layer right over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get something called my marquee tool. Marquee tool, again, if it's a tool, it's going to be in the toolbar. It's over here. The marquee tool is a selection tool, meaning it makes a selection, and it looks like a square right over here. Just know it's not the crop tool. The crop tool is at the top. It's not that square, and it's not this square. This is the gradient tool. It's the one right below the crop tool. It looks like a square with a dotted line outline. So again, it looks like a square with the dotted line outline. If you're not sure, roll over and it'll say marquee tool, M-A-R-Q-U-E-E tool. Click on that. I'm going to make a selection around one of these. So here's how you do that. You want to, I highly recommend, don't start here at the corner. See the white part? Don't start at the corner. Start away from the corner, up in the background over here. See this gray area that's away from our canvas? Click up here. And you see how it automatically will go to the edge anyway. So you want to click like that way. You make sure you don't get any like white edges. You want to go all the way over here, the edge, click, and then drag. So if I click and drag across, I'm going to select just this middle part. There we go. Up to the edge here. Click and then let go. So you'll notice, again, I started here in the gray part, clicked and dragged, and I end in the gray part. So that way I don't get any white outlines, okay? So now you see these little, I call them marching ants. These little marching ants here, these are your marquee. This means you have a selection going around this area. So now what I can do is I'm going to go and get my paint bucket tool, which is over here. Again, paint bucket tool has the word tool and it means in the toolbar. It looks just like a paint bucket. So click on the paint bucket and then click over here in the color picker where the white part is or the black part, depending on what you're looking at. Click on that. And now I'm going to get a color. So we want to do a complementary color. So there are 3 sets of main complementary colors, 3 main sets. The 3 main sets are red and green, like the Christmas colors. So red is a primary color, a main color that you cannot make. You have to find red in nature. And green is a secondary color, meaning that you can make green. And you can make green by mixing blue and yellow. See the color wheel here? So blue and yellow make green. So red goes to green. Those are the complementary colors. They're opposite of each other on the color wheel. So you can see this color and this color, they're going to be crossed the way. Now, blue and orange are complementary colors. So see, orange and blue are across the way from each other on the color wheel, right? If I darken these, it'll probably make more sense. Let me see if I can darken these a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So blue and orange are also complementary. Blue is a primary color, means again a color that is has to be found in nature. You can't make blue, but you can make orange. Orange is made by mixing red and yellow, which are next to it. So red and yellow mix together make orange and blends together like this. So blue and orange cross each other in the color wheel. And somebody told me this is the color of the team, the Broncos. And then I believe it is also not AT&T. I forget the company, but it's like a telephone company as well. Then there is going to be, let's see, which one did I forget? Oh, purple and yellow. Purple and yellow also cross from each other. So purple and yellow are complementary colors, like the Lakers. So the Lakers have purple and yellow. Yellow is a primary color. It has to be found in nature. It cannot be found, or it cannot be made. Purple can be made. Purple is made by mixing red and blue, which are next to it in the color wheel right over here. So red and blue make purple, and purple and yellow are complementary. They complement each other, opposite each other in the color wheel. So basically, in short, the three main sets of complementary colors are going to be red and green, blue and orange, and then purple and yellow. So I always tell my students the way you can remember this is by remembering that the Lakers and the Broncos got together for Christmas. That's how I remember it. So they all had Christmas dinner together. So the Lakers are purple and yellow. The Broncos are blue and orange. And then the Christmas is red and green. So there you go. So now you can pick any one of these. You don't have to do all three sets. So for example, I'll go ahead and do purple and yellow. So I click on purple. So first you pick the hue here, pick your color here in this bar, and then you can adjust the color inside of here, making it darker or brighter. So you want pretty bright purple. Again, you can use whatever color you want. In fact, just pick your favorite color for now, because then we'll do the complement to that color next. Click OK. There you go. Here's the paint bucket tool. Now I'm just going to click inside of this, click, and you see how it only fills just the selection. If it filled everything else, it means you lost your selection. So you need to use your marquee tool again to get that selection and then fill it, okay? So now if you look on this layer 4, or the top layer, whatever top layer you have, it's going to have that part filled in. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my marquee tool again. So I'm going to click on this one more time. Here's my marquee tool. Again, it's that little square with the running ants dotted line. And I'm going to click and drag over here. Now, just so you know, you do not want a outline or a white outline. So to avoid that, try to get as close to this line as possible. If you make a mistake, I'll show you what to do if you make a mistake. So watch this. If I click and drag over here, and you see now I have a white outline, I'm going to get the complementary color to purple. So in my case, complementary color to purple is going to be yellow. If you have red or green, those are going to be complementary colors. If you have blue and orange, those will be complementary. For me, it's going to be yellow, so I'm going to get that. I'm going to fill it with a paint bucket. So I get my color, get my paint bucket tool, and then fill it. Boop. But uh-oh, look what happened. I have a white outline, right? So here's how you fix that. You have to get your marquee tool again, and this time cross over a teeny bit. You can overlap. So you can overlap the purple a little bit. So I'm going to overlap the purple and then try it again. So you just click and drag it again. Now when you go to fill there, you're going to have a problem. And it may help if you have your zoom tool. The zoom tool is at the bottom of the toolbar. It's right on top of the color picker. It looks like a little magnifying glass. If you click on that, I can zoom in, or you can use your navigator panel. And then I'm going to fill with the paint bucket. You have to actually click on the white line, see? And then click on this line. There you go. There you go. So this is how you can fill it in. So if you click on once with the paint bucket, it won't work unless you actually go over the white part that you missed. So if you go over the white part you missed, you should be able to fill it. So now that I'm done, I can zoom back out with my navigator panel, which is up here. Just click and drag the left. Now I can zoom back out. Okay. So now you see I still have my running ants going. See the little selection? So to get rid of your selection when you're done, you will always want to go to Edit, Deselect All. So not Edit, Select All, Edit, Deselect All with a D. Click on that, boop, and now it's all set to go. So now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your Layers panel and click on the bottom left corner, the bottom left, right over here. So not the trash can, not this, on this side. Click on that, and then you'll see when you click on this bottom left corner, it's going to say opacity and mode. Don't mess with the opacity yet. For now, focus on the mode. So change the mode from normal to multiply. There's a whole bunch in here. See, I can scroll down. Let's try multiply first. Look what happens. Now I can see my image, right? So these are called blending modes. Blending modes lets you blend a picture. So your next job is to find a blending mode that you like. It could be really any one that you want. So I'm going to try them all. So here's what happens when I click on Add. Alpha doesn't do anything for me. Darken does the same thing as, there we go. Difference is kind of cool. There's difference. Let's see. Erase. Nope. Hard light. Hard light looks pretty good. Invert. Layer. Now I can scroll down to get more. Scroll down, lighten, multiply, overlay, screen, and then subtract. So basically you guys can do whatever you want here. Except for, actually just take that back. You can't do subtract because that'll change the color. We still want complementary. Green and blue aren't complementary. But I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I'll do hard light. Just so you know though, you may have to reduce the opacity if you use hard light. So some of them you may have to. This one works pretty well on this side, but you see here the yellow, it's not quite as bright as I want or dark as I want. So I'm going to take the opacity and reduce it by a little bit. See, now you can see it a bit better. There you go. So play around with the opacity and play around with the modes to get an image that you like. As long as it's purple and yellow, in this case, I can save it. So I'm ready to save my complementary colors. So here's how you save this image in Pixlr. You're going to go File, File, Save. Make sure the quality is at 100%. And then you can name it. So I'm going to go ahead and call this Complementary Colors. There you go. And then just save it to your desktop. Don't forget where you saved it. So if I click Save, it's going to give me an option to save it somewhere. I'm going to save it to my desktop so I don't lose it. So click on Desktop and click on Save. Although that might not help me because I have so many images on my desktop. I might lose it anyway, but I should be fine. There you go. So now, after you saved it, we can do the next set of pictures. So now we're going to move on to doing the, let's do the warm and the cool colors next. So to start with that, here's what I'm going to do. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. Instead of doing warm and cool colors first, let's go ahead and do our 4 square. So here's how I'm going to do that. Go to Image, Canvas Size. So one more time, that's Image, Canvas Size. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double the height. So not the width, the height. Leave the width alone. So I'm going to take this number and multiply it by 2 in the height section. So my height is 393. Yours will be different. So I'm going to go back to Google, and I can do it from here. 393, multiply that by 2, and that's going to be my new height. 786. I'm going to enter that in here. Image, canvas size, 786. There you go. Just type it in. There we go. And now again, I can use my navigator panel over here to zoom out so I can see what I've done. There we go. So now you're probably going to be able to guess what we're going to be doing here. We're going to make a 4 square. So to do that, before I've already saved all of these background copies. See how they're all here, right? And I didn't accidentally delete any of them, so they should still be there. I'm going to click on, let's click on the background copy that's towards the bottom. Not background, but the background copy right above it. So the one up from the background. Now this will let me, whatever one I click on, whatever layer I click on will be the layer that I can control and move. So I'm going to click on that one and then click on my move tool. My move tool looks like this. If I click and drag, you see now I have this one. I can drag it down here. There we go. And now I'm going to click on another one. I'll click on the background copy that's just above that one. Get my move tool, click and drag, and now I have another one. There you go. And this is how you can make your 4 square. So this is all well and good. So I have my 4 square. Now I'm going to go back to my very top layer, the very top one that has the colors on it, right? And now I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my marquee tool again. So my marquee tool again is this one, the square with the running ants. Click on that. And then I'm going to click and drag around this shape. And again, if you overlap, that's fine. There we go. Click and drag. Just remember, try to start in the gray and end in the gray so you get the full selection with no white parts. Now, the 4 square will be your favorite colors. So any colors you want, this one's does not matter, as long as they're going to be your choice. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this color. I'm going to get any color I want to. I'm going to get blue, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. Boop. Notice when I fill it in, it's going to automatically be affected by the blending mode since these are all in the same layer. So there you go. That's all good. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my marquee tool, select this side, click and drag. Again, I don't want any white parts. There you go. I'm going to get another color. This time maybe I'll go with green. Okay, there we go. And so I clicked on my color picker, picked green, got my paint bucket tool, and clicked on the inside. There you go. Okay. Now, when you're done with this part, go ahead and deselect by going to Edit, Deselect All. Once you go to Edit, Deselect All, your selection will go away, and now you can change these 4 to whatever color you want. So now, without having to get a selection, meaning I don't have to do my marquee tool anymore, I'm just going to change a color to, let's go ahead and just try maybe pink, like a bright pink. In case you're wondering, pink is a form of red. It's basically a form of red that has white mixed into it. If you're wondering what the complementary color to pink is, it's basically kind of like a soft green, like a baby green. So I'm going to go ahead and click on pink. I can do that. And now for, instead of yellow, maybe I'll do orange. There you go. So these ones doesn't matter. These are just going to be my favorites. Now you notice the orange isn't coming up very bright because I have hard light on, which is fine. But I can always go back in and change this if I wanted to. So I can go back to my mode and I can change this to whatever I want to. So I could do darken. I could do, let's see. If I do screen, screen will make the black parts a certain color. Let me try that. There you go. So that's kind of cool, right? Let's see, invert, lighten, hold on. Difference might be cool. Your difference looks pretty cool. There you go. So I'll do difference for this one. I like how this looks. So now what you're gonna do is, oh look, I noticed these are actually, they just turned to complementary colors. Look at that. Blue and orange, orange and blue, green and pink, or a type of red, and then green and pink over here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go to File, Save when you're done. Again, and then increase the quality to 100, and then go ahead and name this My Choice. My Choice. There you go. Save that to your desktop. There you go. All right then. So now that we've done that, we're only going to have 2 more of these to create, and this should be pretty easy. Now, the only challenging part about this is going to be the calculation. So now I'm going to do warm colors and then cool colors. Here's how we're going to have to do that. You're going to go to where it says Image Canvas Size again. So go to Image Canvas Size. This time, you're going to divide the height by 2, which will take it back to what it was before. So again, leave the width alone first, and then just we'll focus on dividing the height by 2, or cutting it in half. So to do that, I'm going to divide my height by 2 on the calculator, and it's going to be 393. So I'm going to go to Image, Canvas Size, Height, 393. Yours will be different than mine for number-wise, and that's fine. There you go. So now it went back to having only 2, which is fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this 3 wide. Here's how I have to do that. This calculation is a little harder, so just pay attention carefully. You're going to go to Image, Canvas Size. First, you're going to divide the width by 2 and then multiply it by 3. So take the width, leave the height alone now. Go to width, divide by 2, multiply by 3, and enter that new number in. So here's how I do that. Oops, actually, what was my width again? 706. So mine's 706. I'm going to type that in here on Google. 706. Okay, so now I'm going to take this number, first divide by 2. Divide by 2 equals that, and then multiply this number by 3. Multiply 3. So divide by 2, multiply by 3. Here's my new number. 1059. Okay. Image canvas size. Whoops. Again, do image canvas size, not image size for this one. And that's 1059. Okay, make sure that's right. Whoops, I messed that up. That was height. It's supposed to do in width. Image canvas size width. There you go. 1059. There we go. Okay. 105. Yep, that's right. Okay, perfect. Excellent. So again, I can zoom out with my navigator panel if I have to. There we go. So now I have 3. So now, here's one catch you're going to notice. If you look at your layers panel over here, you'll see some of the background copies disappeared. Now, they'll still be there as far as the words go. See, this is background copy. But if you look, and it's hard to see on this video, but some of them I'll see like a little black dot in the center. That's my picture. Some of them will be gone. So I might have to delete some of these now. So I'm going to click on the ones in which the image is gone. So you see I have, if you see like my face, it makes this like black dot in the center. Those I'm going to leave alone. I'm just going to delete the ones in which the picture is gone. So I click on this one, trash it. Click on this one, trash it. There you go. See? Now, if you make a mistake, like let's say I click on this one, I delete it, whoops, my picture will go away. See, it's gone. That means that that layer had the picture on it still. So if you ever make a mistake, just remember you can undo, edit, undo, or go here in the history. So again, edit, undo to undo here as well. There you go. So now I have these ones. I'm going to make a third. So I'm going to copy any one of these background images. So to copy one of these background layers that say background, I'm going to click and drag it to the new layer button next to the trash can. So again, one more time, here's the new layer button next to the trash can, click and drag that down there. There you go. And now I have my new layer button, a new layer image. There it is. Okay. So now I'm going to go to my move tool, which is this tool over here, the move tool in the top right corner of the toolbar. Click and move that over. There it is. Now I have a third image. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Great. So now that I have that, I'm going to click at the very top layer of my layers panel. The top layer is the one that has all the color on it. So I click on the very top layer of my layers panel. Click on that one. Now I should be able to just fill this because the rest should be will be blocked off by color already. So I could just fill this white space. If that doesn't work though, then you'll just use the marquee tool as before. So click on the marquee tool, click and drag. There you go. And otherwise, you just use the paint bucket. So now I'm going to get one more color. Now I'm going to start with let's do the warm colors first. So ready? The warm colors are going to be on this side of the toolbar. Think of warm, think of like fire. So red, yellow, and orange. Red, yellow, orange are going to be hot colors, hot like fire. Like a flame has orange and red and yellow in theory. They're also the fall colors. So fall colors are going to be warm colors. Pink technically is a warm color as well because it's a variation of red. So all these are warm colors. Even though fall of the season is not warm, the colors are warm. So now cool colors are going to be purple, blue, and green. Purple, blue, and green are cool colors. The way I remember that is if you go into the green forest in winter and you fall into the blue lake, you turn purple. Right? So just remember that. It's cold colors. There you go. So we'll start with the warm colors first. I'm going to go ahead and click red. It does not matter which order you do this in. So I'm going to go ahead and just enter in red here. Now, you'll notice I have a problem, right? Because right now I have difference on, so it's not turning red. It's only making part of it red. So I have a second problem. I see I have a white outline because I made a mistake, right? So here's how to fix that. If I go to Edit, Deselect All, I'm going to get my zoom tool, which is over here. Zoom in. See the white parts in the center? I don't want that. So to fix that, there's a couple options. One, I can use the marquee tool again. Otherwise, I think with this part, since the white's between two colors, I can just use a paint bucket tool. Get the paint bucket tool and just click on that white part right in the center there. Got it. There I see. See it's gone now? All right. Zoom back out in the navigator panel over here. There we go. Good. Okay, so now because this is not going to work, I'm going to have to change my mode. See the mode down here with difference? Click on that, and now I'm going to try something else. Maybe hard light will work. There we go. Hard light works pretty good. And I can reduce my opacity a little if I have to. There we go. So now this is all red. So now yellow actually works. Yellow is a complementary color, but just in case, I'll pick yellow again. See all the 6 colors now? They're changed down here. These are the old colors I have, so I can pick yellow from here or make a new yellow. Drop that in there. So now I have yellow. Now my paint bucket tool selected just so you can see up here. So I just dropped in yellow. Now I'm going to drop in the third one, which is orange. With my paint bucket tool, click on orange, or get orange if I have to, and then drop that in. The orange isn't showing up very much, so I'm going to have to darken this orange a little. Let me see if I can darken it. There you go. So what it is, I got the orange again, I just made it darker. This is the lightness bar right over here, basically, or I can drag it down so it's like a dark orange. And then I click on it. There you go. See how much better that is? There you go. So it doesn't matter which order you have them in. Anyone will be fine. There you go. All right, so now I have my three warm colors. I'm now going to save this. So I'm going to go to File, Save. File, Save, bring the quality back up, and change the title of this to Warm Colors. Warm Colors, and save that. And to my desktop. There we go. And then lastly, I'm now going to do the cool colors. Now here's the cool part. Once I have a color block like this orange block, yellow block, I don't have to use my marquee tool again. Because the block, the color block will preserve that selection, so to speak, which means that I don't have to reselect every time I fill it. Now I can replace the color with the paint bucket tool. So I'm going to get my paint bucket tool again, and now I'm going to get the cool color. So let's start maybe with blue. You guys, again, can do any order you want. So I'm going to get blue first. There we go. Nice bright blue. There we go. Then I'm going to try purple. There we go. Nice. And then I'm going to try green. There you go. I'm going to do a darker green for this one. And my purple's a little on the pink side. Again, I want it to be, pink is technically a warm color, so I want to get like a darker purple. There you go. I'm darkening the purple. There we go. That's better. And here are my cool colors. So now I'm going to go File, Save, bring the quality back up to 100%, and then call these cool colors. There you go. And that's all you have to do. Save that. All right, and then you guys are done. So that's how you created your complementary colors, your My Choice 4-square set, and then a set of 3 warm colors and a set of 3 cool colors. And then you're done. Now, if you ever want to save a Pixlr file so you can go back in and work on it again later, you can do that by going to File, Save, and then you see where it says Format JPEG under here? Format JPEG, click on that and change that to a PXD. PXD will save it as a layered Pixlr image. You can save that to your desktop, and then anytime you're in Pixlr, you can reopen it by going File, Open Image, and you can open the original file in Pixlr. It'll have all your layers and everything there as well. And that's it. So I hope that was useful for you.